Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going through one of our first trainings with you, and it's going to be about how can we create creative content that actually sells. So since we're going to be spending a lot of our time and a lot of our resources now into creating compelling videos, it's going to be important that we understand what is the point, right? What is the point of creating good content? And the first thing is that with never ending options, right? All of us have got competitors and there's loads of people that do exactly what you do. It's going to be crucial that we're leaving a good first impression on our customers. 9 times out of 10, the way that someone's going to leave a good first impression is going to be through one of two ways. It's either going to be they're going to check your website out, or they're going to look at your social media channels. And this is going to be our focus today. If you're running lead generation ads, which is probably what you've signed up for with us, a significant portion of these people are going to come and check you out. And when they do check you out, if you're posting content which portrays you as an expert at what you do, they're going to be more inclined to work with you. By making sure we've got some really high level content on our page, we're actually going to be investing in a brand. We want to create our business and turn ourselves into a brand, because brand is the difference between why somebody will pay 5 times for the exact same service. You see this all the time with clothes. There will be a designer t-shirt that costs £500 and the Primark t-shirt which would be kind of similar and it costs £5, right? People want to pay to get the best stuff and to work with the best people. So if you're creating content which is really good and you know you're talking about your expertise, you are going to therefore attract better prospects. You want to be people that just want to work with the best people and they're willing to pay for it. So there's only 2 types of marketing. The first one is you got your push marketing. This is when we're actively going out and we're trying to accumulate new customers, and this is usually through paid ads. We're putting ourselves in front of these people saying, hey, do you want what we're offering? Okay. For me, this is always going to be the best one because we're going to be in control of the number of people that see it. But the other one is your pull marketing. Your pull marketing is when you attract clients through reputation and delivering value-driven content. So a good analogy to kind of think about this is this illustration here. Now, these are quite bad. I found these off Google, right? But if we're going to picture your business as a beautiful garden, okay? And the purpose of our garden is we want to bring as many butterflies in as possible. There's a kind of 2 ways that you can do this. Your push marketing is when we're just going to grab a net and we're going to run around and we're going to just try and swipe as many butterflies as possible and force them to come into our business, bring them in. Or there's your pull marketing, right? We invest in building a really nice garden, a beautiful garden that the butterflies actually want to come to. This one is far more powerful if you get it right, but it does require a little bit more time and patience. But hopefully we can do both. So because we're not trying to be these social media influencers, I'm assuming you don't want to be dancing on TikTok. We're making content with a purpose. We're making content to bring people into our business and make more money. Therefore, the purpose of what we're doing in regards to content is going to be about reinforcing our core values. Any piece of video that we're doing, pictures or writing, it's all about pushing a consistent message to our engaged audience. Before we can push our core values, we need to understand what they are. So a good exercise to do, which is one that I always recommend, is we're going to use this sentence. We're going to say, at our company, we are, and then tell me 3 words of how you want a stranger to describe your business, and that's going to help dictate the style of content that we do. I'll give you some examples. The first one for us is that we want to be perceived as experts at what we do. This might mean we do some videos articulating really in-depth knowledge about a very niche subject, right? People are willing to pay more for the expert. We are proven, right? People like what they think other people like. If you can show that you've done this for other people and it's working and you've got some testimonials, that's going to work in your favor. And we're engaging. Don't make this stuff boring. What's going to differentiate you from AI or the next guys is the personalities. 9 times out of 10, if you're a service business, which I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you probably are, you're going to work with people. Get your personality across. People are willing to pay more to work with people that they like. Another reason why content is so powerful is that if you can be consistent with the videos and these videos are structured in the correct way, which increases virality, these videos might be getting 20, 30, 100,000 views a time. They can really help support your ads because this is free reach. Now, it is difficult to do this, but these are some of the best practices. It's important that we remember our goal, okay? The goal is to build an engaged audience that can be monetized. This is not necessarily going to correlate with having loads of followers and getting loads of likes. We do care about that to an extent, but we'd rather be making money, right? This is content for business. So how are we going to achieve this? The algorithm is going to reward consistency. You need to post every day for 90 days to become a trusted account. For those of you that are looking to just maximize and give yourself the best opportunity to create the best thing possible, you need to be posting every single day for 90 days. You will notice a very big difference in regards to your reach and how many views your videos get. The algorithm will push videos that have a high through play. Through play is going to be a big word for us. So through play is when content is watched for more than 15 seconds, okay? Therefore, good content, it's going to spike curiosity, it's going to bring someone in to watch the video, but it's actually going to delay your value, okay? You don't want to give someone, the secret sauce straight away. You want to wait, right? Because if you can make them engaged, so curious, and they wait, that's when they're going to come through the through play section, which is 15 seconds or more. That's when we give them the value. They're happy, they're walking away by learning something. And we're happy because we follow best practice, and that's going to really increase the likelihood of our video obtaining virality within our audience. Content can be extremely time consuming if you're relying on creative flair. So what I want you to take away from this video is that we're going to start adding structure to what we're doing. I don't want you to just freestyle some great ideas, even though you will have them. But because we're going to need volume, if we're going to really maximize this, it's important that we're following the structure, and this is it. So these are kind of going to be our steps, right? It's going to be our flow chart that we're going to follow. We'll go through in depth in a second what these are, but in short, every video has to start with understanding what is the core value that we want to push. We're then going to create a good hook, which is going to be a cultivating sentence, which is going to bring someone in to watch our video. Then we're going to give the retention, I'm going to teach you how to story tell, and then we're going to hit them with the value. Like I said, we're trying to long out the video, then we hit them with the value, and then we tell you what we want to do after with our call to action. So let's go through how we're actually going to achieve that. So I'm going to assume that you've picked your core value and you know the purpose behind the video. And now we're going to be going on to the hook, okay? So a good hook is something which creates curiosity. And these are a few of my favorite hook styles that I like to use, and I've seen really good performance across the board with all of our clients. The first one is a controversial statement. This is an example. Eating a higher fat diet is actually good for weight loss. This is when you go against the grain on purpose, because it can trigger people and be like, what? That's not really the norm. And then it'd be curious to watch the video. The next one, an intriguing question. Make someone think. How much money would you be saving if you actually stopped drinking coffee? I'm not sure. And then they might watch the rest of the video. A shocking fact. 87% of clicks are held within the top 3 researchers on Google. That's a good fact. You've articulated knowledge. You might want to watch more if they're interested in that topic or subject. Probably my favorite one, I think this is the easiest way to get views, is when you're clout chasing and you're using other famous movies, companies, or celebrities to bring an interest to your business. Being an aesthetics practitioner and doing a video saying, here's the secret facial that Kim Kardashian uses to keep her skin glowing. That video is going to get a lot of views, perhaps off Kim Kardashian's fans, who potentially are the people that are interested in aesthetics. And life experience and achievement, are you interested? Do you have some good stories about actually how you started what you're doing? Get those online. I went from living in a council estate to selling a business for multiple million. And these are the 3 best things that, something like this, learn to storytell. So these are examples of hooks, which I think are really good. But these are just some really good hook examples that I've gave you. You can just kind of fill in the blanks if you ever are short of creative flair. We're going to give you absolutely loads of these. So these are just loads of video ideas. Obviously, you're going to have to change the niches. You're literally going to have, a solid 25 there to play around with. So the next one that we're going to go on to, we know our core value. We know why we're doing the video. We've got a good hook to spark interest. And now it's about retention. How do we ensure that we storytell correct? So these are some good examples of a retention phrase. So I felt. So when I found out, when I realized, because I wanted to, I'll never forget, it gives someone a reason to stick around. If you're throwing these in directly after your hook, you can tell your story around the hook, and then you can give the value as well. I'm gonna get you to do an exercise right now. So I want you to pause this video, and from the sheet that you've got in front of you, I want you to pick a hook and pick a retention hacker, and then create just an example of a start of a video, one that I just made super fast. This is the hook. So don't make this one mistake if you're thinking about getting lip filler. And here's the retention. When I first started getting my lips done, I thought the volume of filler was more important than the person doing it. I've actually made the video more interesting, and I haven't told you anything about what that one thing is, yeah? This is a skill. This is learning how to storytell at an elite level. Okay, so moving on and flowing nicely down our scripting structure. We know why we're doing the video, because we've got our core values set out from the start. We've sparked curiosity with our audience because we gave them a really good hook, and then we've actually added a retention hacker. So we've started storytelling around the hook. The next part is the value, okay? There's not really a lot of training that we can give you on the value because you're the expert, right? Always maintain confidence with that. You've got all of the secrets. You are a walking piece of content because you're an expert at what you do. But if you do want some tips about how I believe you can articulate really good value, these are some of the tips that I would give you. So your personalities, your experiences, your perspectives on your industry are the value, okay? Don't worry about being vanilla. Don't try and be, so PG that you appeal to everybody, okay? This is like one of the worst things that you can do. I want you to create a tribe. I want you to create content which is a little bit on the edge. The people that, they really align with your beliefs, they're going to love you. But the people that go against that, they're going to hate you. That's the best way, in my opinion, to create compelling content. A big thing which a lot of people don't want to do, give away your best secrets for free. Why not? Because if you're telling someone your best secrets and you can really help them, they're going to think, wow, imagine if I actually paid this guy. And don't be afraid of having long content. For me, there's no such thing as content which is too long, only content which is too boring, okay? As long as you're talking about a niche subject, and I would always recommend you guys to be going super niche, people will watch it if you can really talk about a specific problem. The reason we don't want to be broad with content is because, if you're just going to be talking about cars, then they're going to go to the YouTuber and engage with his content. That's the car expert, right? The famous guy. But where they might go to is that if you can pick a really specific niche. We do lead generation advertising for small service-based businesses. Okay, that's an example. That content will speak to a very specific audience. And then that's when they might come to you for that specific problem instead of the big famous generic guy, okay? And just always keep in mind, I've said this a few times in the video, that the goal is not necessarily the views. It's not necessarily the likes. It's not the followers, but it's to give value. We can just help 100 people and articulate a relationship with them, build trust and help them and show that we're the best guys to help them. We can monetize 100 people there. That's really what we're trying to do. So moving on, we've just ticked off the value. And now we're coming on to the call to action, okay? So this bit is super easy and it's not that in depth. It's pretty much just understanding that if you don't ask, you're not going to get. It sounds stupid, but if you want people to follow you, you need to remind them to follow you, yeah? If you're looking for help with your product or service, DM me the word car, right? These are just examples. Just take a look at the presentation that we've got in front of you. You don't necessarily have to use these, right? Most of you will understand how to do that, but these are just some examples that I've knocked out for you. That pretty much completes our scripting structure, right? This is going to be exactly how I want you to start crafting your videos. So how do we put it all together? This is how I think you should write your scripts out. And this is going to be really, really important that everything is super neat. If you lay it out in this way, I like to use colors as well. If you lay it out in this way, this is going to allow you to knock out 10 videos, usually in the time that it would take you one video. You're going to have a clear framework to follow and it will be able to get it on paper and you can start knocking these out super fast. The reason you want it spaced out like this and perhaps using colors is because if there's one thing which is going to dictate if your video gets a lot of views or not, it's going to be that you're changing the backdrop, you're changing the scene. People don't want to just listen to you just talking straight like this. Make it engaging. So you can see that we've got 4 sections here. We've got the hook, the retention, the value, and the call to action. With the hook, to have your first environment, your first setting, your first scene. The retention, change environment again. Give them something new to look at. The value, give them something new to look at. And then you can actually create quite an engaging video. It's quite boring, which some of you might find with this training, if you're just looking straight at someone and there's nothing else changing or moving. But always change the scene at least every time you're moving on to the next stage of our scripting structure. So what equipment are we going to need in order to achieve results with this? Now, I'm going to assume you don't want to fork out a few £100 every time you want to shoot some videos. And that might actually work in your favor. User generated content which looks like it's been shot from an iPhone is exactly what the Instagram Reels and TikTok are really pushing right now. They're really trying to avoid what's happened to YouTube. YouTube, the level of production of the videos has got so high and so good that the average Joe, they can't just create a YouTube video because it almost looks like a TV program. The Reels, they're not trying to do that, okay? So they want you to feel like you can use your iPhone, and that might be the best thing to do. The best settings are going to be, if you've got an iPhone, at the top right, you're going to see that you want to be putting it in 4K and a frame of 60. This really improves the quality of the video, and always use your back camera. Your front camera is okay, but it's not as good as your back one, especially if you've got the tri-lens. So I'd always recommend making sure you've at least got the iPhone Pro if you don't want to buy some flash camera. An expensive thing, but one which I think is defo worth it, is having a really good microphone. Like, the level of audio is going to be massive. And remember, we're talking about your presentation of your business. You should not be taking too many shortcuts here. If you've got rubbish audio, this person's going to think, wow, this guy doesn't even care about the presentation of his own videos. How can he care about my car, for example? So that would be the microphone that I recommend. That Rode one's really, really good. The other ones is that, you know, just get a basic tripod, unless you got, you know, one of your friends or your colleagues there to help you. This one I use, a Thumbs-N, it's like £25, it's super good. And also just getting a ring light. So a ring light, it won't make a huge difference if you're well lit, but, you know, if you want to be doing this late, okay, you're going to be limited of the natural light that you can have. So getting a ring light just to hit you in the face, it will make a big difference to your videos, right? Your videos do need to be relatively visual to keep people's attention. What are the best editing apps? There's one called CapCut, which is really good. CapCut is going to allow you to chop up your videos and add those different transitions when you're changing background and everything. That's a super good one. Captions, which is the purple app. This one is good because it's going to allow you to auto-generate subtitles on your videos. 60% of video after 7 p.m. is not watched with audio, which is interesting, right? 90% of the time, people are just flicking through when they're traveling or whatever, and they might want to hear what you're saying, but they haven't got the audio in. So just chucking some captions on there is good. Canva is a great tool because another big thing, which we're going to speak about as well, is the thumbnail of the video. If your video is really, really good, the only people that are going to know that your video is really good are the people that have watched it. People are initially clicking on to your thumbnail. So what is the image of the video? What's going to make me want to watch it? And that's how you can create those on Canva. And ChatGPT, I'm sure everybody knows what this is. If not, you should be using it in your business. Just use this to write a good caption, right? Make it out like you've put some effort and some thought into your caption. Just give the topic and it will spit you out really good ad copy. So what are the shooting best practices? I think a lot of the stuff before is easy to follow, right? This is very, 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 very important, okay? If you take away one thing from this video, you need to make sure you're following the best practices. Each section, so when breaking it into the hook, retention hacker, the value, the call to action, each section at least has to have a different cut. So your videos should really be 4 videos combined as a bare minimum. If you want to be a high performer, every sentence. I know it does seem like a lot, and you can get some B-roll, which is just like other footage from YouTube, which you can chop up as well. This is what the best guys are doing. It just makes the video so much more engaging if it's like a lot of chopping and changing. Should go without saying, but every video at least needs to have some subtitles on. Use Captions.io, the app that I've just linked you, and have some visual props. This is one which is quite overlooked as well. Like, if you want to articulate that you're professional and you're a legit company, a lot of communication is non-verbal. Could you film it in an office where it shows maybe some of your accolades in the back, shows staff, shows that there's other people showing you on the job? That's a visual prop without you having to say, hey, we're a legit company, okay? So visual props are something to consider. You want to make sure you make the full use of the full screen. So you're going to film in the ratio 9:16, which pretty much just means your phone is in portrait mode. And remember, always trying to use the back camera. And I want you to prioritize your audio, okay? Making sure that you should be buying a mic, to be honest, okay? You don't have to get one as expensive as the one that I've shown you. If you're not using a mic, you need to at least make sure that the room is quiet when you're filming your videos. I think it looks so unprofessional and messy if the audio is not good. And ultimately, remember just to show your personality, guys, right? We're human. The only thing which is going to separate you in the end from these AI robots, which are probably going to take a lot of your jobs, is that it's a person behind there, right? Look after your customers, show your personality, come across as someone likable and someone that they want to work with. Another thing that I probably should have put on here as well is make sure you got good thumbnails, okay? There's 2 ways you can kind of have good thumbnails. You can either create quite a fancy looking one on Canva, which we'll be sending further videos on how to do, or just at least stick just a basic caption on top saying what your video is about. You know, use the hook, stick that on top of an image of the video, and that should be good enough if we're doing it at scale. This is quite a taboo topic. So where do we draw the line between copying people's videos and actually making our own with our own twists? And this is kind of the framework that I would decide if someone is a good thief or a bad thief, okay? So a good thief is someone that's going to do things with integrity and honor. They're going to kind of study the videos. They're going to take ideas from multiple different people. Feel free to give these people credit in their video. And you're actually going to transform their content and kind of remix it and give it your own twist. You don't want to, copy everybody's content one for one. Take their hooks, and give your own twist on it. That would be my advice for best practice in regards to copying people's vids. So hopefully you took some value to that. This is not the part of marketing which is going to make a huge difference to you. Your paid ads are going to be really where you're getting the most value and making your most money, but you're paying a lot of money for this type of service. You want to be making sure that you're ticking all of the boxes. If you're someone that wants to just maximize every single 1%, do everything you can to win, you should be smashing out content. It is going to be a big pull marketer driver for your business, and it's going to bring you better prospects than our ads will. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. If you've got any questions, you know where to reach out, and looking forward to seeing the great videos you create. Thank you.